Hello, everyone. As a child, I was very into reading. I read a lot of books, and I was very interested in it. As a teenager and in my early 20s, I didn't do so much of that. I read more comic books, but I didn't really read novels that much. And then in my late 20s, starting a couple years ago, I started reading more books, and I decided that it would be fun to start sharing some of these books with you guys. Some of the books that I read that I like, some that I don't like, and just kind of talk about them a little bit, very briefly, with all of you. So I figured to start this new little series of videos that I'll be doing, why not start with Artemis Fowl? So here we have the first book in the series. And we've got a movie coming out in, I don't know when it's coming out, maybe in like a year or so from now. So I'm excited for that. We're just going to talk about the first book here today, though. First of all, the cover art, I mean, depending on, I'm sure, different, what do you call them, editions are going to have different cover art, but I really like the cover art in this book. I think it looks really cool. We got Artemis there. So basically, this is going to be a spoiler-free review, but Artemis Fowl is written by Eoin Colfer. I believe that's how you say his name. I think he's Irish, and it's kind of hard for me to say. But I think it's pronounced Eoin Colfer. At least that's how it sounds like he says his name to me. So Artemis is a young boy who also lives in Ireland, and he is a genius, and he's very, very smart. And the point of this story is that he discovers the existence of fairies, and fairies is kind of an umbrella term for mythical creatures, fairies as we might know them. There's a centaur in this book, there are dwarves, things of that nature. Artemis discovers their existence, and he learns that they are very rich people, you know, they've got a lot of money and a lot of gold, and they're also very technologically advanced, more so than humans, which explains why they have never been discovered before. They've got the technological means to remain hidden, and they see humans as being very savage, kind of, you know, still kind of cavemen type of creatures, you know. I'm trying to avoid saying the word basic, but I can't really think of the word that I'm trying to, you know, I can't find the word I'm looking for. But you get it. Primitive. That's it. Primitive. Anyway, I need to read more books. Build up that vocabulary. But this story is covering Artemis pulling off a scheme to steal a bunch of gold from these fairies. And Artemis is kind of an interesting character. This book is not what I was expecting. I didn't know going into it actually how little Artemis is in it. That's not to say that he's not in it and that he's not a main character and he's not a major character in the story, because he is. But it bounces back and forth between him and some of these fairy characters, like Holly, who is the first female officer in this sort of organization. She's kind of like a cop, you know, but more than that, but just in general terms. And her boss, Root, Commander Root, who's really cool. He might be my favorite character. This book is really good, you guys. I think it's a pretty short read. I mean, how long is it? Let's check. It's like less than 300 pages. And the text, here, I'll show you at the start so you can't read it and get spoiled. But the text is not like that small. I have been rereading Harry Potter for like, I don't know how many times this will be that I've been reading Harry Potter. But I took a break from that to just kind of read some other books. And I finished this one, and then last night I went back to read Harry Potter, and I was kind of like taken aback by how many words are on each page in Harry Potter in comparison to this. So this is a book that you'll be able to read pretty quickly. It's great for like young adults, teenagers, and adults of all ages, of course. But I mean, you don't have to be at a an advanced reading level to enjoy this or be able to get it. And so it's quick, it moves fast, it doesn't drag. And one thing that I liked about it is that it felt like a self-contained story. Oftentimes in a book series, you feel like you have to, it's not necessarily a bad thing, but sometimes you feel like you have to keep on reading to get a complete story. You have to keep on, like, you read a book, it ends on a cliffhanger, you're like, that doesn't feel like a complete book. That doesn't feel like I got a full story. With this, it's the first book in a series. There are multiples of these. But you could read this book just to try it out. And, if you're like, I've heard about Artemis Fowl, I'm not sure if I want to commit to reading like 7 or 8 books or whatever, but you still want to give it a shot, just read the first book. Because even if you decide that it's not really for you, you're not going to feel like you didn't get a story, if that makes sense. So I like it. And it leaves the door open for sequels, but it's like, it's a contained story, and that's good. I think that Artemis is a really intriguing character, and he's really cool. And I want to know more about what's going on in his head. And same with the other characters, too. Like, there aren't any characters that I can think of that just feel like stereotypes, or that they don't really feel like they have their own thing going on, Even the more minor characters, I feel like they contributed to the story and they were interesting. So that's pretty much the review / my little one-way conversation about the story. I would recommend it for sure. Just read it, And with the movie coming out, like, go and get it from the library right now, because when the movie comes out in a year or so, I guarantee you people are going to be checking these books out, and they're going to be hard to get, unless you want to end up buying them, which, to be honest, I'll probably buy the whole series after reading this first book. I mean, I'll keep getting them from the library until I end up not enjoying them anymore. But if I enjoy them all as much as I enjoyed this first one, I'll definitely buy the book series so I can read them again and have them on my bookshelf next to Harry Potter and Game of Thrones and Hunger Games and all sorts of things. So thanks a lot for watching, and if you've read this book, then let me know what you think. Let me know what you think about them turning it into a movie, and let's just get talking. Let's talk. Okay, bye.